Hello everyone, my name is Annette and you might know me on social media as Nettersplays. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite abstract games. An abstract game to me means a game that has little to no theme involved in the game. It's very abstract. It's also very simple in the rules that are played between all the players, and all the information that is involved in the game is available and open, so there's a lot less randomness involved in these games. Someone who generally wins these games is a little bit more efficient with the tools that they're given, which are the mechanics themselves. So the game that I picked is Patchwork. Here we have the whole play area for both players. Now they're going to either advance forward on this time track, or they're going to collect patches to go ahead and build on their quilt board, and they're also going to start off with a certain amount of buttons at the beginning of the game. Now these buttons are pretty much currency. You can use them to buy patches. You also collect them at different points on the time track, and then also at the end of the game they're scored as points. So these buttons are very valuable. Now the two options that the players have are either to advance forward and collect buttons, or they can pick up a patch along the side of the edge right here and place that patch on their board. So for example, if this player were to advance forward, they would collect 2 buttons because they moved 2 times. If this player right here were to collect certain patches, they can only collect wherever this token is placed 3 patches ahead of that. So they have the option of picking 1, 2, or 3. Now if they were to pick up this patch, they would have to pay 1 button for it. They would also move 3 times on the track, and then they would get to place this patch on their board. Now, wherever they place it on the board, they're never going to be able to take it off and kind of rearrange it. So you're limited to where you're placing it, and just you have to think ahead as well. Now, whenever that patch is bought, this new token piece is going to go ahead and move over to where that piece was located. And then the next player has these 3 options ahead of them as well for the future play. Now, the simple game itself is very complex. Limited rules, so you only have 2 options, whether to move ahead or to gather patches and place them. And at the end of the game, you're basically going to fill up this board. You're going to fill it up completely if you're really good, but if you're not very good, you're going to have some open spaces. Those open spaces are going to be negative points, which is kind of bad too. So the complexity of the game is just based on what you're making available for your opponent. Also, how far along you are on the track. You have to assume that the player is not going to move too far ahead of you, along with the placement on the quilt board. You have to make sure that you're placing these patches in good locations for future play. So that was a general overview of Patchwork. Now Patchwork is a great 2-player game simply because of the rules themselves. They're easy to just figure out. You're not thumbing through the book trying to figure out the rules. It's very simple and it's very easy to get on the table. The complexity comes with those few but simple options in the rules themselves. Now every player is going to have to pick what to do during their turn. Now, the complexity comes with what they leave available for their opponents to pick from. Now, you always have the available information open, so you can always foresee what's going to come up and what you're going to leave available for your opponent. So that's pretty complex because you're working with those few but available options. Another cool thing is that every person is going to be working on this grid system right here and trying to place their single tiles on those available grid portions, and then trying to fulfill the complete quilt without leaving that many empty spaces. So you're working on 2 different things, your own personal system along with the system in between the 2 players themselves. So this game is pretty deceiving because it looks simple and abstract. However, there's so much to think about within this game. So if you get a chance, you should definitely check out Patchwork.